Web shop boss Craig Flowers defends the Christie administration's gambling position. Exactly which groups are living in the worst poverty throughout the nation? Plus a $500,000 drug bust, and crime remains a top concern for many. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NV12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, the CEO of one of the pioneering number houses in the country is defending the government's position on not allowing Bahamians to gamble in casinos. Albeit FML Group of Company CEO Craig Flowers says he doesn't necessarily agree with that stance. The numbers boss is also responding to members of the clergy he claims demonized the government for the decision to legalize and regularize the numbers industry. Paige McCartney has the interview.
One of the major causes of public contention remains the Christie administration's decision to keep discriminatory laws that exclude Bahamians from the right to participate in casino gambling. The argument has been made that the gaming bill was more favorable to local foreign-owned casinos, opening new subcategories of proxy, junket, and mobile gaming, which provide new revenue opportunities for casinos. FML Group of Company CEO Craig Flowers said while he doesn't understand why government made the decision, he's certain there's a good reason.
I'm not a politician, and I'm certain that from a political perspective, I'm certain that the government would have sat and given a great deal of thought to the process. They have information that I'm not privy to. Those types of games in which they're allowing us to play and not allowing us to play at this time, there must be reasons.
Flowers told NB12 that even though he may speak out in disapproval on the issue of Bahamians being able to participate in casino gambling, he's a believer in being a part of a team and will support government's decision because that's a part of living in a democracy.
I don't have the answers for why and what are the reasons for some of the things, because a lot of them I don't agree with. But I realize I'm not a government, and I have to accept, and I must move on with what is given. And whether it be an explanation as to yay or nay, and I don't think that in any organization you will find things or rules or regulations where everyone would agree. And in particular, my position as leading a person in this industry, one of the leaders in this industry, I'm certain that a lot of people value my opinion, and my opinion doesn't necessarily have to confine with all of the process that was taking place.
Flowers also responded to church leaders who criticized the government for going against the results of the 2013 gambling referendum, where the majority of voters voted against the establishment of a national lottery and the regulation and taxation of the web shop industry. The numbers boss said some of the pastor's comments were far-fetched.
All of these allegations that is being made as it relates to the government's decisions to do things, I think people are overboard with those types of questions. Those type of questions will certainly be answered at the next election. I mean, we can't sit here and expect to criticize or demonize the government for making decisions. Why government make decisions, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion, when they make decisions, they've been given the mandate by the country, by the people in the country to govern. And if I do or say or act contrary to what you put me here to do, then I have, at the end, there is a judgment day for these things.
In fact, he indicated that he does not believe government's decision to go ahead with the legalization of numbers houses will negatively impact them at the polls in 2017.
We are preempting and trying to demonize and trying to kill the government for making decisions that we, and maybe only a few, if we take an election today, we may be surprised the PLP may win more seats than they have before. We don't know. But we can sit here and we can all say from any perspective or any point, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. But there's a lot of people in this country. And if asked across the board by way of an election, we may be very well surprised.
Flowers, who's considered one of the fathers of the modern web shop industry, said the full story of the numbers business must be told so that Bahamians can get a true appreciation for the industry. Reporting for NB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
Well, F&M Chairman Darren Cash today responding to Flowers' comments. When asked to comment, Cash said in an email to our news team he would use the words far-fetched and overboard to describe the suggestion that the PLP can win the next election after spitting in the face and turning their backs on the Bahamian people. Cash added Mr. Flowers is correct that his support for the PLP is well known and that Flowers invested well. Cash said he would use PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts' words to tell the web shop boss to, quote, shut the hell up, as he is doing nothing to help his cause. New details revealed after the release of the 2013 Household Expenditure Survey during a seminar at the Department of Physical Planning this morning. That study revealed where the highest concentration of poor people live and what age group is living well below the poverty line. Jasmine Brown has the details in this report.
Given the new information revealed by the most recent study, the minister insists that more studies like this one should be conducted. The results of the Household Expenditure Survey showed that 12.5% of the population lived in poverty, an increase of 3.5% over the 9.3% of the population who lived in poverty at the same time of the Living Conditions Survey in 2001. According to the survey, the absolute poverty line, the minimum required for an individual to meet his or her basic needs, stands at $4,247 annually. That breaks down to $11.46 a day per person. In 2001, the absolute poverty line stood at $2,863. But it's young people who have the highest rate of poverty. The report found that people under 20 make up 18.8%. On the other hand, people aged 60 or more have the lowest incidence of poverty at 7.7%. It's a fact that Minister of Social Services Melanie Griffin says she found most startling.
What we must as a country be concerned about the impact of poverty on our young people. We do know that the study shows that major percentage, a high percentage of young people under the age of 20 are in poverty. So it means then that we must, as we're doing now, attack unemployment aggressively and to ensure that our young people particularly are able to find jobs and to get themselves out of poverty.
According to the survey, although the island of New Providence has the most economic opportunities, 71.5% of the nation's poorest people reside in the nation's capital. While the poverty rate stood at 12.4% in New Providence, the rate of poverty in Grand Bahama was 9.4%. The survey notes that the rate of poverty among the Family Islands collectively stood at 17.2%.
I think the release of this information really shows us where we are with regard to the poverty level in our country.
Griffin says the survey provides a comprehensive and accurate profile of the poor, and the data is critical to the formation of policies to address the needs of the poor. She adds that information like this is exactly what the department needs to properly meet the needs of the poor.
It also shows us that we need to have more service like this done on a more consistent basis, because from 2001 to now, 2013, we're able to see really the difference in what was in place then and what is in place now. The major purpose for the survey really is to assist the government in its policy decisions.
In 2012, Griffin revealed that the number of people receiving some form of help from the government ballooned to around 10,000 people, up from 3,000 people in 2004. During this budget year, the Department of Social Services has been allocated $40 million. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Police have arrested 3 men in connection with a $570,000 drug bust in the Coral Harbor area. This video, captured by the Drug Enforcement Unit, shows officers combing through bushes near a track road where they discovered the large quantity of marijuana. DEU Chief Superintendent Sam Butler told NB12 that during a surveillance operation in Coral Harbor, DEU officers stopped a black 2005 Cadillac car occupied by 3 men, ages 31, 33, and 34. He says police then searched nearby bushes.
We brought to a conclusion an arrest and interdiction of some 570 pounds of marijuana, which was seized in the Coral Harbor area, some bushes in the Coral Harbor zone. We were able to take 3 Bahamian males to custody.
Butler says he is pleased with the level of success the DEU has had in recent years.
Our efforts continue with this drug fight. We are pleased of the progress that has been made over time, and it's because of the diligent efforts of members of the drug enforcement staff who each day put their best efforts forward.
Well, in response to ongoing crime in the country, many Bahamians are saying crime is more than a government issue. CEO of the Hope Center, Carlos Reed, also saying Bahamians could do more to control crime in their own communities. Simone Davis reports.
Residents around New Providence shared concerns on crime in the Bahamas, some saying that crime starts with the youth in the homes and at schools, while others say the government should implement stiffer penalties to crack down on crime. One resident said crime is beyond the control of the government and is an issue only the citizens can control.
Crime is not a government issue. No government. PLP, F&M, DNA, that's not the issue. Crime itself is a national issue.
Others said crime is a result of poverty in the country, while most crimes begin in the schools. They said the government should work harder to provide jobs to young Bahamians to prevent crimes and strengthen the judicial system in the Bahamas to strictly enforce the laws.
Crime begins by poverty. If a lot of people graduate from school every year and they have no job to go to, they have to feed themselves any means necessary. So if the government don't have job to provide for these young people, they're going to resort to crime. And until we realize unity is strength, the country is going to continue to collapse, and that's what's happening.
What they should do is enforce the rules that is on the book. And if they enforce the rules, and it will be much better. But we get away with a lot of slackness. And the court system, you get people out on bail and dangerous offense out on the street. But I realized something yesterday watching the news. The most dangerous part in Nassau is in the school.
In an attempt to limit crime in the Bahamas, Director of the Shock Treatment Program, Pastor Carlos Reed, says he is doing whatever it takes to ensure that the youth have guidance. He says he is aware that most crimes begin in the schools, and he thinks the government should place more police officers or security on campuses to limit crime. He added that while he believes crime is decreasing in the Bahamas, he also feels that Bahamians should learn to police themselves, which is a temporary solution to solving crime.
I don't care how much police cars we put in these areas. Yes, it deters persons as long as they're in the area, but they got to go right back to the same lifestyle that they have become accustomed to. I believe that we need stronger fix, yes, for the temporary solution. Yes, we need to saturate these areas because it's been proven that when we have police saturation, it works. But I think it's a little bit deeper than that, where we really need to get the citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, these persons in these areas, to police their own areas.
Reed also said as a part of his initiatives to crack down on crime, young men who are brought to the Hope Center are given a fair chance at life by being exposed to the right principles to steer them in the right direction. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.